Hello, hello. Welcome to a Mind Elevation with Shavariel. That is me. We are here elevating the mind, elevating the life to live better. So, welcome to Mind Elevation. And to the subscribers, thank you so much for being within the family, for being in this atmosphere of betterment. And for those who have not yet subscribed or you just clicking on this video for the first time, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for your time to hopefully learn something from this video and carry it forward because that's what we want to do. So remember, share to care, share this video or any video that you may like of mine. That way we can expand our family. And also, you subscribe as well. So, I hope everybody's having a good Friday, November 17th. Yes, it's one of those moments where you just inhale, exhale. So, there's so much going on in the news as of today, yesterday, this past few days, but I just wanted to touch on Keke Palmer's situation. Not to talk about Keke Palmer. My thing is, I'm not able to speak illy on anybody that I do not know. So please do not think that when I speak on a subject or speak on a matter, that I'm talking ill about that person or judging them. Nobody can judge anybody because to judge, that means you have a heaven or a hell to put somebody in. And that is not me. So knowing that just means we have to hold each other accountable to make this a better world to live in with our brethren and sisters. So the Keke Palmer situation, as of recently, with audio being released of her conversation with her child's father. I'm going to say this very delicately. We must take accountability for our actions all around the board when we make a decision. Now, here's what I mean about that. What Keke is going through, what Miss Palmer is going through, it's a very sad situation. It's sad for her. It's sad for the child, her child, and it's sad for the young man whom's the child's father. Now, here's the thing. Nobody is excusable for abusing another person, whether physical, spiritual, mental, verbally abusive. Abuse is abuse, and it is never okay. I need you to understand that. Now, in this situation, the most that I can say is if Keke were to ever click on this video or find this video, or there maybe not Keke, maybe it's a woman in her same situation going through the same thing or similar things. Make sure you move forward carefully. And that is being said because you may be in a relationship with a person who is abusive or gotten abusive with you. You have to consider that that person is dangerous. For another person to put a hands on another person, that person that's being abusive is no longer logical. If they were ever logical to begin with, if they ever had common sense to begin with. And the thing is, common sense is not common. Otherwise, everybody would have common sense. So you have to move carefully. How you say, what you say to that person, how you handle that person. You have to move carefully. Now, in her situation, to what we hear, is gone legal. is going to the court to sort out whatever it is that they need to sort out. So that's a good step, because now it's on record legally that there are differences between her and her child's father. It's sad that her information is, and her privacy is being revealed to the world. However, somebody needs to see this so that we can learn the lesson of, hey, you have to be more careful about who you date. You have to be, and more importantly, you cannot just think because you believe that you're in love with somebody, you give them your body, or you give your body. And in the midst of you giving your body, you produce a child into this tumultuous mess that you and this person have. And it's also a lesson for us to understand. We better understand the red flags and the signs that a person is not healthy or compatible with us. My experience was the same thing. Just rowing past the red flags, the red signs, the red signals, the alerts, the alarms that says, no, do not stop, do not go, stop, do not pass, go, stop, do not pass, go, stop. And even then, I was a toxic person also, so I'm not solely putting the blame on the man, the guy. I was also a toxic person too, and what we can learn from this is when two people are not compatible, when two people are not in love, when two people should not be in a relationship together, it can get messy. And when you involve a child, it gets messier. So the only reason why I brought up the whole Keke Palmer situation is to say, look at what's happening. Now what was a private matter is now going public. Now the quarrels are being recorded, released, audio being released to show or make seem like the other person is crazy when it may not be. There's more context to that. There's more that's happening in the background than what people think. There's more to that because we don't fully see what goes on behind closed doors. We don't hear everything. We don't see everything between two people or people. So have this be a lesson to say, look, we first have to love ourselves first. Because when you love yourself, you're going to be more attentive to your needs. Hey, if you smoke weed, I don't need that. I work. And I work a career. And there is no way I'm going to be around you smelling like a marijuana bag. And yes, I said marijuana. I know it's marijuana. There is no way I'm going to be smelling like a marijuana bag around you and then go around my coworkers, my associates, my investors, my vendors, my brand ambassadors smelling like that. You'll understand what you need. You'll understand that moral principles come way before a physical attraction. Yes, we like for people to look good, look beautiful, look handsome, of course, because we want to be attracted to that person. But as far as placing beauty far above a person's heart, how a person thinks, what their family values are, if they have any, how they treat other people. To say that beauty comes before that is absurd. To say a man being handsome comes way before his self-discipline is absurd. So we want to make sure that first we are healing and dealing within ourselves first. Love yourself first before you attempt to go after anybody else. Because if you are not healed, if you're not healing, hurt people, and you're going to end up hurting somebody else. And then that hurt person is going to go and hurt somebody else, so on and so forth. It's like a domino effect. And this is what happens. It can get messy if two people only got together for lust or for a hidden motive or for status or for a cover up, being down low. Like a man could want another man but just want a woman to cover his tracks. And then now it then got all entangled with that man and woman's relationship, that now they have a child, an innocent child in this mess. It's a plethora of things that you have to take steps to do and consider before you go and you date somebody. Jumping in a bed should not be something that you consider in the beginning, period. Giving a person your body, whoa. That's way too much access. And again, you don't know this person. So just consider that. And my experience was with that before, just being in a tumultuous relationship and having all the information be put out for family to see. Now it then got to where it's leaking over to the job, because now me and this person are arguing at the drop off before my shift. I'm taking my child to go get dropped off with his dad, and then we arguing or having a disagreement rather in the parking lot before my shift. Now I done ran over my time to get in the car, go to work. Now I got to call my job, say, hey, I'm going to be 15 minutes late. Emotional, upset, coming in there, faces pink. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. In a unbalanced, unhealthy relationship, your privacy will no longer be private. That means even if you have a disagreement, it will be talked about, because now that toxicity is leaking over. It's leaking over. Like there are no boundaries, there are no barriers now. It's leaking over. Maybe you two had a fight or a disagreement or an argument or whatever it is, and now maybe one person is looking for sound advice, sound guidance. Hey, what do I do? This person keeps gaslighting me, keeps verbally abusing me. Just maybe they hit me one day and I just need to know how to process it. What do I do? Mom, what do I do? Dad, what do I do? Uncle, what do I do? Auntie, what do I do? Sis, what do I do? Brother? And many times people may not give the best answer the first time, because then they're processing what you're going through. Like, oh, he hit you? Like, oh, he cussed you out? Oh, he called you the B word? And we don't know, but when we're telling other people this, it may be a trigger for them. Maybe something they experience the same with your biological mother, with your biological father, or with their brother, with their sister, with their aunt, with their cousin, with anybody that they had that experience with. It could be a trigger for them. So they may not give sound advice at first to say, hey, I've been through that. Here's what you do. First of all, that's not good. Him hitting you or you hitting him as a man, you're a woman. You're not supposed to be laying hands on no man. Okay, he will knock you out and you may not wake up. So what you need to do is go get therapy professional therapist. Don't stop talking about these things with your friends. Your friends are not who you need to see. You need to see God. Okay? And see what see what his word says. And then you need to pray about it, and you really need to consider what this is doing to your life and what this is doing to that person's life. And if something happened between the both of you, how's that going to affect your families? Sometimes the answer is not that sound. It's just, oh, well, I don't want nothing to do with it, or I go, I don't know who you could go to. But you could do this and this and this without really like thinking how this is going to affect that person in that relationship. And then they go back as broken as when they came, because now they don't have sound support. They don't have sound guidance. They don't have a sound voice to say, look, here's what you do to get to peace, and here's what you do to do the right things. You're not doing the right thing here, and this is affecting you negatively. Here's how you reroute and you go a different path. But most opinions or advice is just to say, hey, why don't you just work it out? Sometimes it can't be worked out. And in this situation that has unfolded with Keke Palmer, her situation, it's not working out because too many things are getting leaked. Audios are being released. Too many things being said. And it's just too much that's playing out in the public view. Now, I understand we can't control everything, but it's just too much now. And what we can do is just hope the best for the situation, for a peaceful resolution in Keke Palmer's situation. But let that be a lesson to all of us, men and women. Men, there's some crazy women out here. You don't think so. You think just because you're a man, some men think just because they are men, they have it all together because you're masculine, you have a grip, a hold on the situation. But there's some women that'll flatten tires. There's some women that'll bust windows. There's some women that will call up to your job to say that you're really not at work. You're really at your friend's house on what your supposedly lunch break was for, but you really just told them you're going to be a few minutes running late to your lunch break, but you're really at your friend's house stealing time. It's some women that'll do that and more. Fake an injury as if you hit her when you really didn't. Fake an assault that you took her without her permission, and you didn't even touch her harshly like that. You didn't even harm her. It's some women like that, ruthless, savages. It's some women like that. So you have to be careful. And you remember this. It is such fun and games to people when I say, just abstain from sex. Don't even put that in the mix. Because you see, when you put it in the mix, it makes things a lot harder. And when you include an innocent child in that mess, you're creating a war that you cannot get out of. And that child has to sit on the sidelines and watch his or her parents go back and forth. The two people who were supposed to be in love with each other, that they were so loved with each other that they laid down to have that child. Now that child has to stand on the sidelines watching their parents, his or her parents, go back and forth in a war. That's not fair to children. And so just abstain as much as you can. And it's really disappointing to see that many people would take risks with their lives having sex. They would take risks having unplanned pregnancies, and raising children is hard. You're talking about a whole different person, a whole nother personality that you cannot control. You can correct, you can love, you can nurture, you can discipline, but you cannot control that person. A person is willing to take that chance and that risk to have an unplanned pregnancy rather than doing things the right way, taking things slow to see if you even like this person, to be dealing with them even 6 months from now, a year from now. And we have got to wake up. We have to wake up. We have to wake up. Don't just stand by and watch people, relationships like Keke Palmer's, to say, girl, I feel sorry for her. No, no, no. You talk to your friends, you talk to your cousins, you talk to your brother, your siblings, your sister. You talk to people that you love, to say, look, I'm tired of being a problem. Tired of sleeping around just because. I wouldn't want to go through no stuff like that. So you know what? I am going to stop doing ... I'm going to change the way I do ... And then challenge those around you to do the same. We have got to start being the resolution rather than the problem. Because you want to hop in bed with somebody, and I'm not saying that's what she did. I don't know her situation like that. But I'm just saying, before you get to being involved with somebody else, first get to know you. Get to love you. Tend to your mess. Tend to your haunted house. I say this. An attractive person could be like that beautiful mansion that's just on the market. It's beautiful. Lawn, cut, water features. Ooh, beautiful powder bathrooms. I'm sorry, powder rooms. Just cozy water closets. 4 car garages. Balconies. You can see the city view, the mountain view, the ocean view. But when you get in that house and you go through a few rooms, it's like a haunted house. You just like, what is this? But you look so pretty on the outside, but you look so handsome on the outside. What's in this room though? You didn't tell me you had this kind of past in relationships. You didn't tell me that you had this kind of broken relationship with your mother and father. You didn't tell me about this stuff. And what am I supposed to do with this? You see what I mean? Tend to your own mess as much as you can. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of your children. If this is reaching you and you have a child and you've already moved past like the warring spars between you and that child's parent, and you're close to getting things balanced but not really, well, before you go make another child out of wedlock or out of marriage, hopefully you don't, and this saves you. Your focus now is no longer just about you. It's that child first now. That child needs you. And also you tend to yourself as well. And if you don't have any children and you looking at this situation of Keke and whoever else, and the rest of us normal folk that go through things like this, and maybe you heard your coworker going through this or your friend going through this and you don't have children, let that be a lesson for you to say, look, I love myself too much to go through this. And I have enough caring sense to say, look, if that other person wants to get in a relationship with me and have unprotected sex and have an unplanned pregnancy and we have no idea how we're going to raise that child if I give birth or if she gives birth. Look, it's not worth it. I'm not willing to take myself through this. I'm not willing to deal with this person and their family over my child. I'm not willing to do that. That's too many. That's too much added in the mix. Now I got to deal with this person, and then if we have a baby, the baby in there, and then that person's family. Look, it's not worth it. So I'm just saying, let's do better. Let's do better. Let's do better. Let's do better. And also, let's take accountability because we laid down with that person. So obviously, it was something that intrigued us with that person to lay down with them to have a child. It's not all on them. It's on you. It's on us. I had to do it. Take accountability to say, man, I laid down with this person. And I have to deal with the consequences of that daily. So it's not all on that person. I lacked better judgment. I lacked maturity. I lacked responsibility to say, you know what? I'm not prepared for a child. I love children, but I'm not prepared for it because once you have children, it seems like unplanned. It's like driving the car of your dreams, but then every few inches you stop. It's like or if you're not into cars, maybe you like tennis. It's like picking up that racket to play a game, and in the middle of the game you got to stop and take a break every few minutes. To have a child is a lot of responsibility. It is no longer you. You are still a priority, but that child comes first now. That child needs you. Now that child has to be nurtured in their own gifts and moral principles, in self-discipline, in love, knowing what the world is. It takes a lifetime to know what life is about. Life. That's what it is. It is a journey. So, imagine you doing what you want to do, but you got to stop every few minutes. That's what it is like when you have children unplanned. Because that child needs you. That child is going to need to go to school one day after 4 years old. So now you got to plan your work schedule. Okay, you got to drop your child off at daycare or at preschool or whatever. And then now you know when that child gets out of school, you got to be there to pick that child up. Or if that child is not feeling well, you got to call off from work. Or if the babysitter is running late, now you got to call into work to say you're going to be late. And that's truly not how a person should have to live their life. That's why you make responsible decisions. That's why you have to be much more careful about what goes into your mind, what you think, what you say, what you eat, what you speak. And I only gave that reference for children's because some people won't admit it, but that is what it's like. You driving a car that you really like and you driving it fast, and then you just got to slow down and stop every few minutes. Why? Because that symbolizes when you're a parent, it's drop and go. Drop what you're doing or go to get that child. Drop what you're doing. That child needs you. And you got to go. Go to that child's recital. Go to that child's practice. Go to that child's rehearsal for dance or for piano. Or go to that child's camp for engineering or technology camps where they learn how to do where they learn about AI, artificial intelligence, or where they learn all the programs of Microsoft. Whatever it is, you drop and you go. And as a parent, that's what you have to do, because now you have to nurture your child into being a good citizen, a good human being, and also tap into their gifts, their purpose. So then when they get older, they'll help make this a better world. So didn't mean to rumble off too much. I hope that helped. And we just have to do better. We have to become the resolution, not the problem. So may this find you well, and we'll talk again soon.